call the special Seward County Board of Commissioners special meeting to order. Item number 1 is approve the agenda. We have a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make it.
Do we have a motion?
Huh?
You made the motion.
Yes, sir.
I thought I heard you say second. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, so I have a motion by Commissioner Lauterbach, a second by Commissioner Vasquez to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 4-0 with 1 absent. Okay, item 2 is the revenue neutral rate increase. Governing body of Seward County must notify the Seward County clerk by July 20th, 2026 of their intent to exceed the revenue neutral rate or remain revenue neutral. The revenue neutral rate is the property tax mill levy that generates the exact amount of total property tax revenue as the prior year using the current tax year's assessed property valuation. If the county budgets to collect even $1 more in property tax revenue than it did in the previous year, it exceeds the revenue neutral rate and is legally required to hold public hearings and formally notify taxpayers of the increase. The county clerk will notify taxpayers via mail of all taxing subdivisions exceeding the revenue neutral rate 10 days prior to the public hearing. Okay, so you have the last page shows that the mill levy would go down 2.1 mills based on increased valuation. So the revenue neutral tax rate would be 39.1 mills. Do we have any discussion on what we want to do?
Stacia, are these numbers you used adjusted for the things that are under protest or
No,
not?
this includes the value of everything protested. So that, to me, that's the concern with not possibly looking at exceeding it, because we don't know what the valuation is going to be in November, because we don't know about the exemption or the Board of Tax Appeals case. So we could lose $25 million in valuation if we hear from the Board of Tax Appeals.
So do you know how much, what the total is that's under protest currently?
Over $25 million. Over from 18 to on. So for this year, it would decrease our valuation to just over $25 million.
The exact mill levy can never be determined until after the budget, until around November 15th.
Yeah, it is in November. Also, commissioners, when Stacia talks about the valuation amount, that is more than just the Conestoga ethanol plant at this point. The deputy county clerk sent out information letting you know and letting the other tax entities know, those other organizations that have protested their taxes and are going before the Board of Tax Appeals. The last conversation that I had with our county appraiser is that she also thought that the Board of Tax Appeals was approximately 2 years behind on hearing the newest cases that have been filed. So currently that valuation is included in your packets. You'll receive the information that came out with the valuation information for the county and then as well for rural fire. So included in that estimated valuation right now includes the valuation prior to the protest. It's the amount that's on the books currently.
I do think it's important to know that if you do ask to exceed the R&R, that does not mean you have to. If it turns out that our valuation is great and we can not have to exceed, we don't have to. However, if you don't approve the to exceed, you cannot exceed after today.
And we all can also place a cap on how far it could be exceeded. Is that correct?
An estimated levy.
We actually have to, if you look at your notice of revenue neutral rate intent that was included in your packet, you have to list the rate that you would cap it at.
My opinion, we're gonna have to give us the flexibility to move up, but I think that we put like a 3 mil levy cap that we can't go through, just so we kind of know there's our threshold and we are able to move forward.
Yeah, I think the city did it as well, right? They
I don't
just
know that.
said not so long ago. April, would you happen to know that?
I do not know for sure. I can tell you that most of the entities, it's common, and I think Commissioner Stanton shared with all of you or shared somewhere that a lot of the agencies in our area will put down their intent to exceed, because again, if you spend more or raise more than $1 of what you did last year, you have to notify the clerk that you intend to exceed. So most entities do, just because they don't know what to expect. Again, where values aren't certified until November.
The valuation, the exempt valuation does not affect the city's value because it's out. So they're not in quite the predicament we are. Some of it is.
Right.
Like National is, but.
But he asked if they had already done their intent to exceed. I don't have that information.
They have. We have a gentleman in the back row who can tell us.
Most of them have.
Thank you.
The school
Jose.
did and the college
Sorry, I
did and
didn't
the
see
city
you back
did.
there a
So,
minute ago. Yeah.
So you say the city capped at 2 mils.
so I kind of agree with Clay that, which would, if we made it 42 point to leave off all the other decimal places, that would just be a 1 mil increase over the current mill levy, which would be a 3 mil increase over the R&R. Rural fire, I think I would just leave rural fire the same.
Well, your rural fire, their assessed valuation actually went down, I believe. I was looking for that. Yes. Their valuation went from 122,636,661 to 120,628,946. So to stay revenue neutral, for rural fire, just to stay revenue neutral, their mill levy would increase to 8.332
Right.
from 8.209.
Which is before accounting for any of the payments under protest.
Correct.
I mean, I would just toss out a slight variation on what Clay said. Based on what I've said previously, if we deal with approximately 3% of our $11 million in ad valorem tax and kind of round up, that would give us a 1.25 mil increase over the 39.1, give you 40.35. If you want to add that to deal with the payments under protest, I mean, we could put that on the 41.21. That'll give you 42.46.
Isn't that pretty much where we were?
I said 42.2. So
42.2.
just leave off all the other decimal places.
What did you say? 42.6?
It was coming out about 42.4. It's no significantly different than Steve's number. So it's essentially going up a little over a mil from where we currently are.
Yeah, I just said 1 mil based over the 41.2 to 42.2. So, Ira, you good?
I think so.
Do we have a motion to that effect?
So we're just, to be sure here, we're going to cap this at 42.2, correct?
Yes. And the rural fire at 8.333, whatever.
And that'll stay as
8.3.
stated.
Huh?
That'll stay
That
as
stayed
stated.
the same, so we don't need a revenue neutral for them. We only need one for the county, right?
Well, we'll still notify the
separately.
clerk that you do not plan to exceed the revenue neutral rate, but we will provide her with one for Seward County, one for rural fire.
Okay.
So we would need two separate motions, one for the county and one for rural fire.
I just want to revisit the rural fire again, because if we're going to take out X million dollars, you know, even if we leave it the same, it's going to significantly reduce their operating budget. Is that what we intend to do?
It's going to bring with the revenue neutral rate of 8.33, et cetera, that will bring in the same dollars, correct, April?
Unless the valuation changes between now and then.
Right. But I mean, it can either go either way between now and then. That's something we have never been able to control. The city can't control it, the school can't control it, the college. But we have to go into it knowing that it could change a little bit based on what the final valuation numbers are.
That is correct.
Yeah. So if we leave the mill levy at 8.3332, then it will not change the dollar amount.
That allows you to collect what you did in tax dollars last year.
Same dollar.
Yeah.
So let's start with rural fire. Do we have a motion to not exceed R&R?
I'll make that motion not to exceed R&R on rural fire.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Lauterbach, a second by Commissioner Vasquez to not exceed revenue neutral rate for rural fire. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 4-0. Okay, now, Seward County budget. So it would be revenue neutral rate increase would be, yes, we intend to exceed the revenue neutral rate, and our proposed mill levy rate is 42.2. And the date of our hearing will be September 21st, 2026 at 5:30, and will be held at the Seward County Commission Chambers in Liberal, Kansas. Do I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
I will.
Have a motion by Commissioner Vasquez, a second by Commissioner Lauterbach to give the notice to exceed the revenue neutral rate, and the maximum rate will be 42.2 mils. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 4-0. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I will.
Have a motion, a second, I'm sorry. We have a second to adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Lauterbach, a second by Commissioner Vasquez to adjourn. We will come back to the next meeting at 5:30. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 5-0.